Madam Speaker, I rise to lead the debate of and have read for a second time in this August Assembly today the bill shortly titled the Proceeds of Crime Amendment Bill 2023. Madam Speaker, this short but important bill concerns a single issue: the amendment of the definition of tainted property within our Proceeds of Crime legislation. With your leave, Madam Speaker, I first intend to describe what the Proceeds of Crime Act is used for. Then I will explain why we prioritize the confiscation of proceeds of crime. I will also rationalize what the amendment actually achieves, whilst emphasizing the critical significance of the amendment in strengthening the ability of law enforcement to recover proceeds of crime. And lastly, I will aim to provide our people with a comprehensive understanding of why we must take this step and how it aligns with our overarching commitment, or the overarching commitment of this administration, to combat crime in our federation and preserve the integrity of our justice system. These are fundamental elements in achieving a sustainable island state. Madam Speaker, what is the Proceeds of Crime Act? The Act was enacted in November 2000, 23 years ago, and has undergone 12 amendments over the past years, reflecting this National Assembly's commitment to adapt to evolving challenges in combating crime. The last amendment was passed in March 2021. The Act serves several critical purposes. It provides a legal framework for the freezing, forfeiture, and confiscation of the proceeds of crime. This is a crucial tool for law enforcement to deprive criminals of the financial benefits they gain through illegal activities. The Act also creates offenses and procedures to prevent money laundering, a process that criminals often use to legitimize the proceeds of their crimes. It enables the enforcement of overseas freezing, forfeiture, and confiscation orders, emphasizing the international dimension of crime and the need for cross-border cooperation. The foundation of this Act, therefore, is our ability to identify, pursue, prosecute, and recover the proceeds of crime at all levels. This encompasses the ability to proceed against tainted property. As an aside, Madam Speaker, it's important to note that the Proceeds of Crime and Asset Recovery Act 2020 was passed in this National Assembly in January 2020 and published in June 2020. However, it was never brought into force, I am informed, because there are some administrative issues that need to be resolved prior to the implementation. Our team at the Attorney General's Office is reviewing that Act and will only move to bring it into operation when we are satisfied that it can fulsomely be implemented. Madam Speaker, why should we prioritize the confiscation of proceeds of crime? Recovering the proceeds of crime serves as a powerful deterrent to criminals for several compelling reasons. First and foremost, it hits criminals where it hurts the most: their financial gain, or as we say colloquially, their pockets. I wish to highlight 5 key reasons why this is such an effective deterrent. 1, criminals engage in illegal activities to profit from their actions. When law enforcement successfully recovers the ill-gotten gains, it not only deprives them of the rewards of their crimes, but also imposes a financial burden in terms of legal fees, fines, and restitution. This financial setback discourages potential criminals who weigh the risks and rewards. 2, criminals understand that their criminal proceeds could be seized, making them hesitant to enjoy their illicit gains. This fear of losing their assets or wealth becomes a significant disincentive to engage in criminal activities in the first place. 3, many criminals use their proceeds to fund extravagant lifestyles or invest in legal activities. The threat of losing these assets can lead to a significant decline in their quality of life. This loss of comfort and status acts as a deterrent. 4, successful recovery of the proceeds of crime sets an example and sends a clear message to potential criminals that illegal activities will not go unpunished. The fear of facing similar consequences acts as a deterrent across society. And 5, Asset recovery limits the resources available for criminal enterprises, making it harder for criminal organizations to operate and expand. This financial squeeze can weaken their ability to commit crimes. Madam Speaker, what does this simple amendment do? The proposed amendment to the Proceeds of Crime Act expands the definition of tainted property within the existing legislation. The March 2021 amendment narrowed the interpretation of tainted property, which then significantly restricted the investigative powers of the police and their ability to apply the widest range of forfeiture and asset recovery. The proposed amendment, the definition is sufficiently clear and comprehensive. It says, and I quote, Madam Speaker, tainted property in relation to the commission of an offense includes property used in or in connection with the commission of an offense, that is a crime, derived, obtained, or realized directly or indirectly from the commission of a crime, has been used in or in connection with unlawful conduct, or is intended to be used in or in connection with unlawful conduct. Madam Speaker, as you're well aware from your prosecutorial practice, unlawful conduct means conduct which, if it occurs in St. Christopher and Nevis, is unlawful under the criminal law of St. Kitts and Nevis. Or if it occurs in a country outside St. Kitts and Nevis, is unlawful under the criminal law of that country. And if it had occurred in St. Kitts and Nevis, would be unlawful under the criminal law of St. Kitts and Nevis. After consultations with the White Collar Crime Unit of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, the Anti-Money Laundering National Committee, NAMLAC, and the Asset Recovery Unit of the Regional Security Services, RSS, we recognize that this amended definition has limitations and it needed to be addressed. Therefore, the amendment we are proposing today corrects the 2021 limitation and expands the definition of tainted property to allow law enforcement the power to move against the widest range of proceeds of crimes-related assets. By making this change, we strengthen our ability to combat crime, deter illegal activities, and ensure the recovery of ill-gotten gains. The changing nature of criminal activities necessitates adjustments. Criminals are becoming more sophisticated in their methods, utilizing a wide range of assets to facilitate their illegal activities. The existing definition, however, is not sufficiently broad to encompass the full spectrum of proceeds of crime. Without this amendment, there's a genuine risk that law enforcement agencies, and in particular the White Collar Crime Unit, may face significant obstacles in their endeavors to recover the proceeds of crime. The nature of white-collar crime often involves the use of property or assets that are not directly linked to the offense, but play a crucial role in facilitating it. This amendment is critical to the work of investigators and prosecutors who strive to hold perpetrators of white-collar crime accountable. Madam Speaker, why have a clear and comprehensive definition of tainted property? The importance of having a strong definition within this legislative framework cannot be overstated, and it encompasses several key dimensions. A precise definition provides legal clarity and certainty, ensuring that law enforcement agencies, prosecutors, and the judiciary can effectively apply the law. Without a clear definition, there may be ambiguity and confusion in determining which assets can be seized or forfeited, potentially leading to legal disputes and delays in this criminal justice process. The primary goal of proceeds of crime legislation is to deter criminal activity by depriving criminals of the financial benefits derived from their unlawful activities. A robust definition of tainted property enables authorities to identify and seize assets obtained through criminal activities, making it more difficult for criminals to enjoy the proceeds of their crimes. This in turn serves as a deterrent in engaging in illegal activities. A clear definition of tainted property is essential to protect the rights of individuals and businesses. Without a strong definition, there's a risk that legitimate assets could be mistakenly seized, potentially infringing on the property rights and due process rights of innocent parties. A clear definition helps to ensure that only assets genuinely linked to criminal activities are subject to forfeiture. Many countries have proceeds of crime legislation, and international cooperation is often necessary to combat transnational organized crime. Having a consistent and well-defined concept of tainted property facilitates cooperation and the sharing of information and assets across borders. It allows for a more effective global response to criminal organizations engaging in money laundering, corruption, and other illegal activities. Clear definitions enable law enforcement agencies to focus their resources on assets that are most likely to be linked to criminal activities. This efficiency can lead to a more effective allocation of resources and a greater chance of successfully seizing and forfeiting ill-gotten gains. When the public perceives that the legal system is effectively addressing the issue of criminal proceeds, it can lead to increased trust in the justice system. A strong definition of tainted property, along with effective enforcement of proceeds of crime legislation, helps maintain public confidence and demonstrates the government's commitment to combating crime. And Madam Speaker, lastly, how do steps like this take us towards a sustainable island state? The proposed amendment of the definition of tainted property within our proceeds of crime legislation is not a mere technicality. It is a fundamental step in our ongoing efforts to combat crime, protect the rights of individuals and businesses, and preserve the integrity of our justice system. By enhancing the precision, clarity, and international compatibility of this definition, we can further our mission to deter criminal activity, ensure the fair application of the law, and bolster the efficiency and effectiveness of our law enforcement agencies, critical elements of a sustainable island state. The effective recovery of proceeds of crime reinforces the rule of law, instilling confidence in the justice system. This in turn dissuades individuals from resorting to illegal activities. Recovering the proceeds of crime acts as a formidable deterrent to criminals by targeting their financial interests, instilling fear of loss, and demonstrating the legal consequences of criminal behavior. This multifaceted approach not only punishes wrongdoers, but also discourages others from engaging in lawful activities, contributing to a safer and more just society. Let us remember that our society is built upon the principles of justice and the rule of law. We need not go further than the first paragraph within our Constitution, which states that the people of St. Christopher and Nevis desire the creation of a climate of economic well-being in the context of respect for law and order. Modern legislation, like the Proceeds of Crime Amendment Bill 2023, strengthens those foundations, making it clear that all crime does not pay, and that the rights of the innocent will always be protected. In doing so, we stand united in our commitment to a safer and more just society for all, as we charter the course of our nation towards a sustainable island state with robust institutions that can outlast and subvert any future attempts to destroy our country through rampant corruption based on greed, all in the goal of getting filthy rich through public office. Those days are over, Madam Speaker. Together, on the constitutional commitment to achieve our national objectives with a unity of purpose, we can further strengthen our ability to combat crime and recover the proceeds of criminal activities, ensuring a safer and more just future for our nation. Madam Speaker, with those few words, I wish the Proceeds of Crime Amendment Bill 2023 safe passage. May it please you.